Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. The Netflix documentary Tinder Swindler has aired recently and taken the world by storm. I watched it lately and I've arranged some life lessons and red flags that Simon Leviev showed in the documentary so that you can save yourself from romance fraud during this time of technology. So without further ado, the first tip is that looks can be deceiving. So a saying goes that first impressions are everything, and that's true. We try to give off a good first impression, and we do it a lot by changing the details of who we are as a person, either be it as our personality, how we treat people, how we show ourselves, or how we dress. These are all ways we impress people, but some people take it one step further by changing themselves completely. Just like Simon Leviev. After watching the documentary, we will all know that his background is not who he shows himself to be. And also, the lifestyle that he sells on Tinder is not true. So sometimes, when we meet someone on the internet, we want to try and make sure that the person we are talking to is actually who they show themselves to be. If we don't do that, we have the risk of falling for someone that is not trustworthy. So the second tip for today is a background check never hurts anyone. So I know that a lot of people under the social media era does a lot of online stalking. And if I admit myself, I have done online stalking as well. Let's get a raise of hands. If you have done online stalking, looking for someone on multiple social media platforms, trying to find out their background, what they look like, their family, where they go to school, or someone that you just think is sketchy and you want to know more about. If you've done that, comment below. By doing background research, not only will you find more information about this person that can initiate more conversations, but you will also find out if this person is fake. For example, if you Google searched Simon Leviev's supposed father, you will realize that that person did not have a son by the name of Simon Leviev, thus debunking his story of being the son of the King of Diamonds. So that's the point of doing a background search, which is also known as stalking. If you have any opinions on stalking, whether or not it's good or bad, whether or not it goes against morals, please comment below as well. The third lesson that I learned from the Tinder Swindler is trust is earned. In the time of social media, there are so many ways to build and break trust. Either you can spread a rumor online, which can also be done in real life, sure, but on the internet, it can spread like wildfire 10 times or even faster than in real life. So it's important to differentiate what actions are building trust and what actions are actually fishing you to trust that person when they have ill intentions. Although many actions can be pure and innocent, and it is up to us to differentiate through experience and to always have our guard up, to always be wary about bad people. So that's the third tip of trust is earned. And the fourth tip of today is to not ignore the red flags. I have so many friends that fell in love or think that they had a crush on someone and ignored so many of the red flags that they had. This is a very big problem because we all know that love blinds us, okay? Love blinds us and makes us and causes us to make bad judgment. Sometimes these situations justify to use different situations to test if they have ill intentions. There's a saying in Chinese that goes, 当事者迷，旁观者清. What it says is that the person directly involved in the situation will be blinded by the correct actions or what the other person is trying to do to harm them. However, the third parties or the people observing, which are your friends or you in certain cases, will see the thing for what it actually is. So if you see a friend being scammed or you think that they might be scammed, definitely let them know while making sure to let them have the final say since it is their life. So that's the fourth lesson, and for the final lesson I learned from the Tinder Swindler documentary is that to know your self-worth. To know your self-worth. A lot of people nowadays want to get validation from so many different sources because we live in a day and age of social media, of internet, of booming technology where so much information is sent around the world every day, every second, every minute. And because this happens, we see so many people succeeding in their own things, and sometimes that will make yourself look back on yourself, and sometimes your self-awareness will make you think, so what am I doing? And that will make you go into a rabbit hole of negative thoughts. However, when this happens, you must think back to your self-worth. What am I worth? What am I good at? You must think about how good you are and not how good other people are. Learn from their greatness, but also learn from their mistakes. You must know that you are worth something and you are valuable. You don't have to be so desperate to look for someone to lean to that you just blindly jump into a relationship, even if the other person has a lot of red flags. Which links back to the last tip that I said. If there are red flags, be wary, or even leave the relationship directly. So that's the tip of to know your self-worth. Make sure that you are dating or seeing someone that is on your level, in your league, and someone that will help you both progress throughout this healthy relationship. So these are the 5 lessons that I learned from the Tinder Swindler. If you have a favorite one, do comment below. And now let's move on to the next section, which is the red flags that Simon Leviev showed me throughout the progress of the Tinder Swindler documentary. Okay, so in the beginning of the Tinder Swindler documentary, we are shown Simon Leviev's Tinder profile. His Tinder profile is a album of extravagant, luxurious, lavish lifestyles of him taking private jets, sipping champagne, having an absolute blast of a life. Now, Tinder is a place where you date people, and if I am honest, at least this is what I've heard. I haven't used Tinder before, but I've heard Tinder is used for one-night stands. So that is just an assumption. So if you think about this app and what it does what the people do on this app, you might think that seeing a billionaire, the son of the king of diamonds on this app, it might be too good to be true, because it is. There's an idiom that says, what is too good to be true? It probably is. And that is the case in the Simon Leviev story. Simon Leviev doesn't exist. It is a fictional character who was too good to be true. He wasn't a billionaire. He wasn't famous. He was a made-up person. So the red flag, as I said in the last section, if you see red flags, definitely keep your guard up. Stay safe on the internet. It is not a bad thing to make friends or even date on the internet, but definitely remember to keep yourself safe and make sure to stay away from the bad people. The next red flag is that things move very quickly. So we know that in a lot of Hollywood movies, relationships tend to go along very quickly. Either they meet at a party or they meet at a bar. Someone meets someone else and they maybe sleep together tonight, and the next day they're together. Wow, what a great couple. Sure, that might happen in real life. If we do a quick assumption, the reason that it's happening so fast is that a movie is, 1 to 2 hours, 3 hours at most. And if it's a romance movie, they have to squish everything into this time. So I think, my assumption is that because nowadays movies are such a popular media of entertainment, and we're seeing so many fast-paced relationships, we're thinking that this is normal. Yeah, if I see someone I like them, then I can date them the next day and nothing will happen. However, that is not the case in the Tinder Swindler. Things moved along very quickly. They met on the internet, and although Simon Leviev was brave enough to meet them in real life, it quickly turned out to become a scam. So it's important nowadays, even when our lives are moving so fast, the urban lives, the internet lives, everything is moving so fast. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves to slow down, to think about what we're doing, what we're going through, and to make sure that we have all of our steps laid out in front of us so that we can choose the one that is best for us. Only by doing so can we make sure that our relationship or friendship can be a healthy and long-lasting one. So that's the point of things moving very quickly may be a red flag. It may not be, but you might want to be cautious about it. The next red flag is they ask a lot of questions. So in the Tinder Swindler documentary, we can see that throughout the casual conversations that the victims have with Simon Leviev, he quickly starts to ask some rather personal questions. Now, this might just come out of some innocent caring or curiosity, because if I'm honest, I have asked these personal questions before. However, some questions, for example, from something I saw on the internet, romance scammers might use different ways or different situational questions to try to find out either your pet's name, your mother's maiden name, your country of birth, etc., etc. The reason being, these are some of the basic credit card security numbers. So if they have this security number among other of your personal information, they can basically take control of your credit card. So that's why we want to take care and make sure that these questions or the conversations that are being initiated come from a place of innocence or a place of goodwill and not something that has bad intentions. So that's the point of someone asking too many questions. When this happens, a recommendation I have is to go on the offense. They are asking a lot of questions. You can decide whether or not you want to answer, but you can go on the offensive and ask them questions. See how they respond, and maybe you will get some insight on what kind of a person they are. The next red flag you might meet when online dating someone is they avoid meeting in real life. We all know that Simon Leviev was brave enough to show up in the hometown or the places that the victims were staying at. However, a lot of romance scammers will try to avoid meeting up in person because, of course, it causes a lot of complications. Even for someone that lives close or in the same area. For example, myself, I have some real-life friends that used to date people from the next district over, but those people did not want to meet up in person. So some people that do this, either these are only assumptions and possibilities, but the possibilities may be they want to scam you without too many strings attached, maybe they're catfishes, or maybe they are not who they portray to be. Maybe, for example, in Simon Leviev's case, they are that person, they do look like that, but their backgrounds and their lifestyles that they sell to you is not what they show to be. So these are all some things you want to keep in mind when speaking to someone, or especially romantically, and if you guys plan to meet up. However, the person keeps avoiding this subject, then you might want to be careful. So that's the point of when someone avoids meeting in person, it might be a red flag. The next and last tip for today is how to get out of a con situation. Basically, if someone is trying to romantically scam you and you realize, okay, you are weird, you are trying to gain something from me, you don't actually love me, what do you do now? The first thing definitely, I think, is to calm your emotions, okay? Because when we realize that we're being scammed, however much we try to deny the fact that it's happening, there's definitely gonna be that point where it hits us and we're like, oh my God, I've been scammed. I have been lied for either a short time or a very long time. I've had friends who've been scammed over a period of 1 to 2 years, and that was very, very hurtful to their emotions. I think that hurt them as a person more than it hurt their bank account. So when this happens, calm your emotions. If you need to, look for someone you trust, talk to them, get someone to help you settle your emotions first so that you don't be rash and do anything irresponsible or do anything off your rage or heat, and you do something that you will regret in the future. So first, calm your emotions. Then, if it's something that hasn't gone for too long, you can just stop contacting that person. Or if you feel the need to, you can also block their number, block them on every social media platform. If it's something more serious relating to financial scam or something that might even endanger yourself as a person, you want to try to collect as much evidence as possible. This is very important because just like in the Tinder Swindler, these three victims collectively recorded what Simon Leviev sent to them, all the pictures, the videos, the audios. So what you want to do, collect as much evidence as you can, save all the photos, screenshot the chats, save the audios if you can, just in case they decide to delete it someday. The social media platforms say that you can retrieve them in case a crime has been committed, but it depends on a lot of circumstances. So I would recommend you do your homework yourself, collect your evidence yourself. Once you think you've collected enough, go to the authorities. Now, contacting authorities is one of the backup contingency plans since, reporting will have a lot of paperwork included. So if it's nothing serious, it's easier to just walk away from it unless you're in too deep. Then we will try to get the authorities to help. So those are the red flags I noticed from watching the Tinder Swindler. I hope that will help you navigate your online dating or online friend-making journey on the internet. Lastly, I would like to share a little bit of my thoughts on the Tinder Swindler personally. Something I remember from the documentary is one of the victims, after the interview, the interviewer asked the victim if she got off Tinder because of the incident. And what she said surprised me. She said that she didn't go off Tinder, and instead, she has still gotten a lot more matches on Tinder ever since the incident, even when she is so much in debt because of Simon Leviev. So I think this spirit is something I hope that we all can have, something that even when we are defeated or even when we go through a hardship, we shouldn't be changed, or we shouldn't change our views on a certain thing just because we have had hardships relating to that thing before. We should use those hardships to fuel us, to empower us, to make sure we don't make those mistakes in the future and make us have better experiences when doing the thing. So for example, for this victim, this is again just a personal assumption, maybe she used the experiences she had from Simon Leviev to learn what it takes to prevent herself from being scammed again. And she's still going back on Tinder because Tinder is a platform where you meet people that you can hang out with or even love. It is not a place where we should try to think of the positive sides of what we do and not the negative sides. So that, I think, is the biggest takeaway I got from the Tinder Swindler. Failure is the mother of success. So every time you fail something, every time you get defeated, try to stand up, use that mistake to power yourself, to learn from your mistakes and do better next time. And maybe one day you'll find the right match. So which was your favorite red flag, or which was the favorite life lesson from this video? Please comment below. If you watched Tinder Swindler, definitely give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for future videos. Okay, before stopping this video, please stay for a bit. Recently, I've noticed that there are a lot of scam or fraud-related movies, documentaries, and TV shows, including, of course, Tinder Swindler from Netflix, also Inventing Anna, which is also a Netflix exclusive. We also have the Fire Festival, which was pretty big in social news. So if you've heard of the Fire Festival or seen the orange squares, please comment below. And also we have Nightmare Alley, which isn't a modern thing, but I think it's also talking about scams and fraud, so I'll put it in the same category. We also have Out for Blood and Dropout, which is both talking about the biomedical company Theranos. Out of these 5 of them, if you heard any one of them, please comment below which one you've seen and which one you've liked the most. All of them are slightly different, but I think they all have a core element of fraud and scamming inside of them. So I plan to make a video comparing all 5 of them. So if that's something you would like to see, comment below. I will also make videos on the individual 4 others that I mentioned once I finish watching them. So if you look forward to that, please also comment below. If you've seen the Tinder Swindler, definitely remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you see more future videos related to this topic. And if you have a favorite tip from today, definitely comment below to let me know. If you have any personal experiences that you would like to share with the other viewers, please do comment below as well. I love to read your stories. And I would also like to ask everyone, do you think I have what it takes to be Simon Leviev? Not that I will, but do you think I have what it takes? Well, I definitely don't have the money, I think. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.